Hello, I'm Fabrizio and today we are going to talk about shell scripting. If you have ever installed one-time Linux, you should have noticed that inside all Linux distribution there is always a terminal that is called shell. The most famous shell Linux is called Bash. Bash is a CLI command line interface that allow you to interact with the OS operating system. But what is shell scripting? The bash is able to run and execute single commands or files that can be written by normal users or by developers. Shell scripting is the ability to create scripts of commands and modify these scripts and subsequently get them executed by the bash. Shell scripting is just like a programming language. It can execute functions, conditional statements, and can use variables to save values. But why create scripts? Because they are really powerful tools that allow users to create by themselves files full of statements that execute what they ask them to do. Scripts can be executed by a daemon, like a cron daemon, that allow the user to schedule when to start the script, at a fixed date, hour, or periodically. Scripts are used for everything. They can be used to create backups, create log files, and to install programs. But let's start with the classic Hello World script. The first thing to do is open a terminal where you want to create your file. I will create my file on my folder. So I create a file, touch file.sh. That is the format for the shell script. Okay, now we must type this command nano okay, and now let's write our script. We must use the shebang echo hello world, and we put inside a comment. This is a comment. Save. So, the first row tells the system that the file must be executed by bin bash, that is the default path for bash in the Unix-based operating systems. The second row is a Linux command that led the terminal to print something. In this case, I'm saying to my bash terminal, print me hello world. The third row that starts with sharp is a simple command. Okay, now we must check if the file can be executed, ls -l. Of course, it's cannot be executed because we create the file just now. So we must give execute permission to your file. So chmod 755 file sh. Let's do again ls-l. Okay, now file sh is a script. Now that we can execute the file, just do it. So I type ./file.sh and enter, and here is our hello world script. Okay, if you are going to create a lot of customized scripts, I suggest you to create a folder in which to save all your personal scripts to execute. If you are going to follow my suggestion, create a folder called bin inside your home. For example, we are on my home. I have to create a folder. So I use mkdir and I call it bin. In my case, the directory just exists because I already did it, but in your case the command will be accomplished. Now, if you want to create a path to your folder to execute your scripts without a write every time /, find the file .profile inside your Linux distribution. In my case it's on my home. Here you must press Ctrl+H to hide or show it, and we must modify this file. We open it, and at the end of the file we must type this command: save the file and reboot your machine, and you have finished. So if I want to execute my script, I can just take it, file sh, and put it inside my bin. Okay, so I can execute it without write /, for example file.sh. Like other programming languages, Bash lets you create variables inside our scripts. To create a variable in Bash, just put a name in your script that contains the name of the variable followed by equal sign and the value. You must write everything without spaces. Let's try to do some examples to understand how it works. In this example 1, Bash reads the variable1 from here and print on the screen what is inside it. Let's try to execute the example 1. Example 1.sh. Hello world. Let's see example 2. In this case, we put a command inside the variable and it worked like a sharp. It's the same of the example 1, but in this case we put a command inside our variable. Let's try to execute it. Hello world. I type it wrong. But let's try with example 3 now. With the command read, we can ask the user to insert some informations by keyboard, and we put it inside a variable that is printed on the screen by the command echo. So we read and we type it inside our echo. We print it inside our echo. Let's execute it. How old are you? 99. Hello, I am 99 years old. Okay, if executed in this script, the result will be 35. This happens because it takes the result of x and it calculates 5 per 7. While if I write $x instead of $parentheses, the result will be 19 because it will replace the x with 3 plus 4. With this example, you can understand the difference between using inverted commas, without inverted commas, and with backtick. If we try to execute it, we must use gr command. Example 5. Okay, if we execute it, you can see the different output of our script. And let's go ahead with the example 6, the last one. In this example, we are not using variables, but we are saying to our script that we must, when execute the script, we must insert these informations and substitute it inside our code. So, for example, let's save and exit. For example, if I execute it without insert anything, there will not be any output, but if I execute it again with some information like hello and word, in this case we will have an output like you type hello and hello world, because I used $@. This kind of the syntax let you print every information you put or after the script. Now that we know how to create a script and manage variables, we can start to use some standard structure that can simplify our code and make it more efficient. This is my script for the if condition. In this case, I'm telling to my script that I will put two numbers and I'll do an if. So if the first number is greater than gt, means greater than the number 2, so print me this one, else print me that number 2 is greater than number 1. Easy. Now let's see what is test command. It's an evaluate conditional expression. It's a command that is used to test variables values. It returns 0 if it's true and 1 if it's false. The result is saved on the built-in variable called $? For example, let's create a new script inside our bin. In this case I am already in my bin, and create a new file that will be our script. So we write the shebang followed by bin and bash, and now we create two variables, x and epsilon. So 20, and we must write the condition, the expression. In my case, in this example, will be this one, $x $y echo $. These numbers are different, so the condition is true, so it will return 0 because the condition is satisfied. Let's try if it really work. Test2 sh. Oh, I forgot the number. 755. Okay, and now let's execute it. Okay, 0. Oh, there is an error. Oh, my bad. Okay, let's see the for. A for loop is used to repeat a certain number of values until the list ends. So if we want to do an example, let's create with nano for2.sh. Let's write the shebang again and type for x in, and let's put a list of values that we want to print. For example, this way, do echo, and let's print these values, $, x. Okay, done. To close our for loop, save chmod 75542.sh, and now let's execute that. Okay, we got all of these prints. While if we want to use a while loop, it's a structure that it's more flexible than for loop, and it's used to execute some statements until condition is verified. For example, let's create another file and write a variable and use while condition with a condition. In my case, the condition will be $x minus lt free. This means that x lower than free. If it's true, while it is true, do x dollar $x plus 1. So I increment my x inside the while, so it will increment it, and every time I repeat the while, it will print echo $x. Done. So chmod again, this time while 2 ch, and now let's start it, while 2 ch, and this is our while. So the script repeats the print statement until the x is lower than 3. So these are only the basics of shell scripting, of course, but you can understand how powerful and versatile it is. Now that you know the basics, you can start thinking to create something harder and use yourself create scripts. My article ends here. I hope this was informative for you, and I would like to thank you for watching. Bye bye.